then. So, Kelly, big week for Twitter, but still takes a long road to get back to where it was. I'll send things back over to you.
That's a good point. And speaking of big weeks, mortgage rates have been on a tear, and it really goes back to the Fed pivot on rates in December. The 30-year fixed mortgage climbing above 5% this week. It's up 60% just since Fed Chair Powell said a faster wind down of the bond buying program might be necessary. Now, will higher rates slow down the red-hot housing market? They sort of already seem to be. Let's bring in Nick Bailey, though. He's president and CEO of RE/MAX. Nick, we know from the mortgage application data, apps are down 40% year on year, but we also know there's still so much pent-up demand from buyers who have been trying to get in. So what are you guys experiencing?
Yeah, you're exactly right. The industry remains highly competitive, and there are a couple of things that are happening right now. There is carryover from last year's buyer demand of people that wanted in the market, but because it was so competitive, they just didn't get in. And then we also have right now, because of the talk and rates that are rising, we have buyers saying, I want to get in now before they even go higher. But the third piece is pricing. Last year was unprecedented. Nationwide, prices were up around 17.3%, other markets even higher. And this year, coming into January, we saw some stabilization in pricing, which is all good news to buyers.
Nick, where's this demand coming from? I mean, I look at, in my neighborhood in suburban Maryland, it is astonishing what prices have done over the past year or so. And everyone was saying, well, this is the COVID demand. This is people who lived in smaller apartments in the city wanting to come out into the suburbs. But at some point, you've got to run out of that demand, right? And the post-COVID era has got to come to an end.
Lifestyle has certainly played an important role in the last couple of years of how people live. Our consumer study showed last year that the number one feature that buyers wanted was a backyard. Number two was home office. So certainly people are using their homes in different ways. But what's interesting about this, we have to look at what the underlying factor is with demand. The millennial population makes up 43% of home buyers. Gen Z right behind them is just as large. And it's estimated right now we have between 4.5 and 5 million homes that we're short in the U.S. We know new construction can't get out of the ground fast enough because of labor and supply chain issues. And so when you've got big population, high demand, and we cannot fill that shortage, that is part of what's driving the continuation of a hot real estate market.
Is that home office demand sort of a COVID fad that's going to end at some point, or do you think that's a new permanent thing that buyers are going to be looking for years to come?
I think it's here to stay. I think the idea of flexibility of how you work and how you live combined is something that is going to be the norm of how we move forward.
It's amazing. And people don't actually know this. This is Kelly's living room right here that we're working in today. Right? So we're doing work from home here as well.
Pretty close, distance-wise. But that's the idea, Nick. I mean, there's plenty of people who still want to get into the market, and now we're kind of waiting. You know, I've talked to friends who are saying, listen, we've been in bidding wars. We've lost out. So we're going to wait. We're going to wait for the summer, see if inventory goes up, maybe prices come down a little bit. What would your advice be to them?
I think at the end of the day, buyers get into the market when they're ready to buy. And when you look at, for example, home prices, yes, they've been red hot. The West is leading it. Billings, Montana, #1 at nearly 30% year-over-year increases. Phoenix right behind it. Tampa leading the east side. Come back to the West, Las Vegas and Salt Lake City, upwards of 27%. But now we're looking at the National Association of Realtors put out a number that the average home price appreciation that we're looking at in 2022 is around 5.7%. And so that's going to help position buyers in a much better way. And so some folks may be looking at interest rates, and that may deter them from entering the market.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of buyers out there that are saying, okay, maybe I don't have to bid against 25 people now. And it's going to give buyers a little bit more of a chance. But buyers, at the end of the day, when you're ready to buy, it's matching the home that you need.
Yeah.
Inventory is still really low, and the demand is there.
Yeah, it's going to be a fascinating spring and summer sales season, that's for sure. Nick, we'll check back in soon. Thanks.
Thanks.
Nick Bailey with RE/MAX. Breaking news on the Supreme Court now. Eli